opened your book, well, I just wanted to show the viewers what it looks like in case they wanted to know more. And by the way, I do recommend it because it's something very interesting that you've written about, the Criminal Tribes Act. Can you explain it and how it created a category of people that were pretty much doomed from the day they were born?
Well, it's a remarkable period of history, and I don't know whether Deepika ji has encountered it in her research. It was more in Madras, and I think it was in Bengal as well, in fact. The Bengal residency had a lot of experiences at the hands of this 1871 Criminal Tribes Act. In a nutshell, the British wanted a law which empowered them to seize assets, to seize wealth, to apply taxation, and to imprison and deconstruct willy-nilly. There were tribes who were particularly a thorn in their sides, and those tribes who were proud tribes with long history, held positions of authority and commanded respect in the communities. They were resistant to the British attempts to conquer and divide and tax. One particular tribe comes to my mind, and they were responsible for the transport of goods. And so imagine the degree of trust that was given to this tribe. They would receive the goods from the merchants. They would protect the goods as they were transported across the country, deposit them with the people who are going to eventually sell them, collect the monies, and then return back to the original manufacturers and make the payments. So these were people who were held with a great degree of trust and in high regard. The British wanted to tax the movement of goods. They wanted to tax it at the point of manufacture and tax it at the point of sale, which meant that this particular industry, this group, were a very major problem for them. And so they introduced this 1871 Criminal Tribes Act to introduce the idea of criminals by birth. In the same way that they have been proliferating this notion that humanity are sinners by birth, they proliferated the idea that there are some tribes who are criminals by birth. And being criminals by birth, their ancestors were criminals, their descendants will be criminals. There is no cure for these people. That was the essence and the crux of this legislation. And it authorized them to seize assets and goods, but it also authorized them to create compounds outside of main urban areas and confine their movement to these compounds. These are concentration camps. And then should these people want to move from that concentration camp, they had to go to a designated British-appointed administrator and secure a pass to allow them to leave the concentration camps, go and do whatever they wanted to do, and then they'd have to show the pass. But one of the other particularly unpleasant aspects of being designated a criminal tribe was that you were not allowed to engage in the normal day-to-day trades that people would engage in. The only thing that they then had available to them, whereby they could sustain themselves, was the clearing of carcasses, the removal of dead bodies. And so they became the people who were producing the leather and doing the most unpleasant tasks. They created an underclass. And so they created people who they themselves then labeled as untouchables and told the world that it was a product of the Brahmins and the Kshatriyas and everybody else. And yet, this is something that has yet to be acknowledged, it has yet to be explored, but it is a particularly painful development. And they, as I say, the 1871 Act, you can go and get it from Hansard, and it's crystal clear as to what the intent was.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.